Hi everyone, this is Eric Brown, and I'm here with Vivek at the Devens Grill and in Devens, Massachusetts, and we're here to have a conversation about what it's like to be a restaurant owner and learn from Vivek's experience. So, Vivek, would love to have you introduce yourself and tell our listeners, how it is that you got to be a restaurant owner. You're not from the industry, so we'd just love to hear about your experience here and go from there.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Eric.
Yeah.
My Rama and I are new restaurant owners. We really thought about buying a restaurant as a retirement plan, although that might sound funny to a lot of people because restaurants in general are a lot of work and long hours, but it's a passion for us. We're not driven by making money. It's really more about connecting people with the right experiences when they come out to eat at our restaurant. It's something that Rama and I feel very strongly about. It's a passion. And so we made the leap just a few months ago.
Yeah.
It's been about 7 months. I would say the journey is challenging, continues to be challenging, but each day gets better. We are much more comfortable now, Eric, than we were when we started. We've gotten to know a lot of our guests. Certainly, we have a much better relationship with our employees. We tend to call our employees team members because one of the things that I've learned over my career in corporate is, you're only as good as your organization that carries you. And to me, this restaurant is about its staff. Our staff is outstanding. We're blessed with having some really good people working here. And that in turn makes us a very successful restaurant, allows us the ability to try new things and create new experiences for our guests.
So you found this location, what was that experience like? And then, day one you get the keys, you walk in here, can you provide a little insight into how that felt and how you sort of stepped into the shoes of restaurant owner with your wife?
Yeah. I mean, we had about a couple of months of transition, so we started to work here almost 3 months before we actually got the keys.
Oh, okay.
However, I equate it to being first-time parents. You can read the books.
Yeah. Right.
People, you get lots of advice.
Yeah.
But when it happens, you have the oh crap moment.
Yeah. Right.
And now what do you do? But as human beings, you figure it out. So I would say there was a lot of fear and anxiety.
Sure.
On the first day that we actually owned the restaurant. I would say, even though we had the luxury of the transition, inevitably things are not going to go as planned.
Sure.
The sort of exciting thing about a restaurant, and at the same time, something that creates anxiety, is that every day is different. So when you come in, you think you have a plan. I'm driving this morning.
Yeah.
You get here, and then there's inevitably things that you didn't think about that you're faced with that you have to take care of.
Sure.
So, there was a lot of anxiety, a lot of fear, a lot of challenges. We culturally are very different from the culture of this restaurant with the previous ownership.
Oh,
so
sure.
We are a lot more disciplined,
Yeah.
a lot more process-oriented, significant focus on cleanliness.
Yeah.
And so that was a big change.
Yeah, sure.
Certainly we knew that there was going to be a lot of change, and like any other change introduced to human beings, it's something that some people adapt to very quickly and other people fight it, and so there's always a period of time where people have to manage through and accept some of the changes that we are making and have made. And that's created, both opportunities and challenges for us as we move forward.
So how is it that, for a retirement plan, how is the restaurant the retirement plan versus, laying on the beach or, just traveling a lot? A restaurant's a very particular desire, maybe, or it's just something that you always had a dream about?
Yeah, no, it's a passion, right?
Yeah.
And I won't say, that we're driven by cooking, although Rama and I love to cook.
Sure.
We love to entertain. But it's really, for us, retirement is not defined by some of the things we mentioned.
Yeah, sure.
Which is, lay on a beach and sip on pina coladas.
Yeah, right.
We're both very active, and we wanted to do something that would keep us active, keep our brains working,
Sure.
Physically keep us challenged. So restaurants clearly do all of that.
Oh, yeah.
And also we wanted to continue to meet new people, experience new things, not just in food, but just in process changes that we make, adapting to industry standards, trends. So keeping it fresh. You know, it's an industry that is evolving, and will continue to evolve. You know, consumer tastes change, you know, periodically, and we have to keep up with it. So we really did it for that reason. I mean, it was something that we felt that was not necessary for us to really do it for money.
Right.
You know, this is not a motivation by money by any stretch of the
Sure,
imagination.
sure.
Restaurants, most of them are not profitable. Many of them are marginally profitable, and some of them, you know, are lucky and they make a lot of money.
Sure.
But those are very rare instances, you know. So for us to do this was really a labor of love, really to create experiences for our guests.
Interesting. Yeah.
We're also very driven by creating opportunities for our team. So that's been a challenge to make people realize and be excited about the vision we have, not only for the restaurant, but for many of them. I'll be the first one to tell you that we have a lot more confidence in some of our team members than they have in themselves.
That's fantastic.
You know,
yeah.
so we are continually talking to them about what can be for them.
Yeah.
You know, and we talk to them about anything from opportunities to grow in this restaurant to how they can save money.
Sure. Okay.
Worry about their retirement. You know,
that's really
I
important.
have lots of employees that come and talk to me about, you know, financial ideas. You know, how to invest.
That's
you know,
great.
and things like that. So our motivation is sort of paying it forward. You know, we've been very lucky.
Yeah.
You know, both Rama and I have had a great career. We've been all over the world. But really now it's time for us to give back in our way. And you know, this is an industry where I think there is a little bit of overlook, meaning, you know, people are sort of looked over the demographic of the restaurant industry.
Yep.
And we want to spend time, build our community with this group of team that we have. Not just for them to be employees and not just have an employee-employee relationship.
Right.
But honestly, we're evolving to something different because today it clearly is that. And we're trying to, you know, sort of convince our team members that this is more than a place to come and work. You know, this is a place where you make friends.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
You get to experience growth, personal growth. It's a place where you can come for support from a family that we're trying to build here.
Right.
You know, and so these are things that we're working on.
Right.
We've had some success, but you know, like anything else, it takes
Well, it's been
time.
7 months. I mean,
7 months, yeah, and we've done quite a
Yeah.
bit in 7 months,
Right.
Eric. I mean, and I don't want to cut us short. I mean, I think if you look from the outside in, and many of our guests tell us this, you know, we have made some significant changes in the 7-month period. But one thing about me that, you know, people have learned working here is that, you know, we never are satisfied with where we are. We're always continuing to find out how we can get better.
So with the guests that you were talking about, I mean, you have guests that were probably regulars before,
Yes.
and somehow you've been able to maintain. They come back, right? New ownership, they know that, they see the changes, they're welcoming the changes.
Yeah, I would say there was apprehension. So,
Sure.
you know, I mean, there's guest anxiety as well,
Yeah.
right? I mean, so many of our guests here have been coming here for several years. You know, many from the day this place opened.
Right.
So there's a level of, you know, kind of loyalty to this restaurant, and so when we came in and we introduced all these changes, it clearly was a different environment for them. We did lose some.
Sure.
Okay.
It's gonna happen.
Ironically, though, many of them are coming back,
Oh, great.
and it's
Okay.
word of mouth because
Sure.
the guests that stayed, you know, and continued to get to know us as new ownership, put the word out that, you know, these guys are not evil. There's nothing really bad.
Right.
They're making changes, but they're changes to make this place better. You know, one of the things that everyone's noticing is the restaurant is a lot cleaner.
Yes.
Okay. And some are noticing that we made subtle but important changes to our menu. We've upgraded a lot of the ingredients that go into the food.
That's great.
And so we do notice that. But the number one thing, which is now becoming more evident for us, is that people, guests, our team members, even the suppliers that come in here that have been working with us for the last few years, to the maintenance guys. So we
Yeah.
had a plumber come in the other day, and he just looked around and he said, I've been coming here for the last 10 years to fix things,
Yeah.
and I've never seen the place this clean.
No, that's great. Yeah.
And so it's being noticed that we're making the right moves, and I think the guests are also beginning to know us. So
Right.
we're spending now time investing in relationships with a lot of our guests, because we have more time than we did in the first few months. So we're spending more time
Right.
talking with guests, meeting them, understanding their needs, and so on. So I think all of that is sort of bringing a lot more of our guests back, and certainly the ones that were clientele of the restaurant prior to our ownership.
Right, and you maintained a lot of the menu items, and yet brought your own spin to what this restaurant is, right? It's like you didn't just keep the name and just change the menu and say it's a whole other concept.
No, and
Yeah.
we will. I mean, the thing about menu changes, is you have to sort of spoon feed it. You have to, sort of crawl, walk, run.
Yeah, right.
In January, we hope to introduce bigger changes to the menu. Eventually, our goal was like within a year or so to put our own footprint on the menu.
Great.
So we're working right now with our food suppliers as well as our kitchen staff on essentially a brand new menu that'll hold on to a lot of our favorites. Because
Sure.
our guests have a lot of favorites that they come to the grill for.
Yeah.
We will keep those, but we'll also introduce things that I think they haven't tried. I call it flexing our muscles. The flexing of our muscles is really the creativity and the capability I have with our kitchen staff. Many of them are very talented, but I felt they were sort of limited in what they can do because of the menu just being what it is for the last few years.
And so you're actively collaborating with the kitchen staff.
Oh yeah, I'm asking
not
them.
just saying, just make this.
No, I'm asking them to say, what dishes should we make? What are your own personal favorites? Because one of the things we want to do is, we want to introduce things that are very personal. Which is, every cook or chef has one or two or three dishes that they're outstanding.
Oh, sure.
And it's their go-to dish. They've mastered the intricacies of the different ingredients, and they've tried it, and they've reached kind of the sweet spot. And those are the types of things that we want to put on the menu. I will tell you that the change has been challenging. So a couple of examples I'll give you is the very first thing I did is we changed a lot of our beers on draft. So we only have 8 taps.
Yeah. Okay.
So the prior ownership didn't change many of the beers. They stayed predominantly the same ones.
Sure.
And it wasn't a big issue for guests. Guests expected the same thing, and there was some continuity. And we shook things up. We changed entirely 90% of the beers. Essentially, there's only one beer that is really the one from the previous ownership. And we continue to change it. So what's happened is, when we first did that, many of our bartenders were very apprehensive. They're like, "Oh, Vivek, what are you doing?"
Right.
And what we learned is, guests want to try new things. Sometimes they don't know what they don't know.
Yeah.
So we introduced new beers. We explained what they are.
That's good.
And now we really change the expectations of what guests are looking for. So now when they come in, they look on the board and say, "What has he
What's
done
new?
next?
Yeah, okay.
What's new?"
Yeah.
And so we've completely changed how guests think about the beer. Another example is, we changed fries. Fries are, for most people, it's fries, but we sell a lot of fries.
Okay.
And our fries were very good, but they were your regular old fries.
Okay.
And that was a battle, changing that. And completely letting go of it and changing it to a completely different fry, which we now call the Sidewinders, was a bold move.
Yeah.
It could have easily failed.
Sure.
But now the Sidewinders are our signature dish as a side. So people come here
Just for the Sidewinders.
Sidewinder fries because they love them. They're
Yeah.
different. And it's become a signature item for us.
That's fantastic. It's a great
And we
story.
sell more fries now than we did previously. We always sold a great amount of fries. But the key here is, Eric, that it's become, with many of our guests, a signature item. So there were a couple of times where we ran out, and the supplier ran out, and we had to switch to the old ones for like 2 days.
Sure.
And people noticed.
Oh, yeah.
They're like, "What happened to your fries? Why are you?" So
Yeah.
we know that there's a following. You know,
That's
and
so
so
good.
we're going to be doing a lot of that. You know, what we've learned is, you know, we need to take some chances. Not everything is going to be successful.
Right.
But you know, you'll never know unless you do it. And so we've tried some things that have had, you know, sort of mediocre success, and we've pulled back. But Rama and I are of the type that we will always continue to try new things. Our kitchen staff, to be honest, is quite energized by having to try new things and allowing them to pursue, you know, something that I think previously they were held back on.
Sure.
You know, so now we're really more open to how do we shake things up? You know, how do we make this more exciting place for our guests? So it's the grill they've always known, but different.
And so for people that don't know the Devens Grill, I mean, you're actually on a former Army base, right? So you're I mean, there's a lot going on here. There's a lot of growth in terms of the community, new housing, new businesses, but you're not right off the highway necessarily. I mean, people can get to you fairly easily, I think, from Route 2, but they kind of maybe have to know about you. Like, how are you connecting with the community, and what is your hope to, you know, longer term for connecting with the community?
Yeah. So I think one of the things that we did was that we gotta probably start over on this part. No. One of the things that when we looked at the location, you know, that attracted us to this was the fact that it was near a military base. You know, we certainly had spent, as I told you, a couple of months here. And we had seen the impact that we have on the soldiers that are in the bases here. And for many of them, you know, this is kind of their home away from home. You know, they get what they would have probably gotten used to as home-cooked meals.
Oh, okay.
You know, they don't get the foods that I assume they get in the barracks.
So there's like an active reserve unit here.
There's an active reserve unit.
Yeah, okay.
And then I think, you know, once a month, we call it Grill Weekend. And so a lot of people from all around the country converge here for their training.
Got it, okay.
So we get busy on all of those drill weekends.
Got it.
We also we continue to provide a subsidized menu for the military, which is essentially a menu that is designed to work within whatever their per diems are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
I mean, it's a limited menu, but it's got good stuff in it.
Yeah.
We break even on those.
Yeah,
you know,
sure.
Essentially, but it's the right thing to do. We're
Of
excited
course.
to do it. But we really realized is that, you know, for many of the soldiers, you know, this is kind of their home away from home when it comes to experiences with food.
Yeah.
You know,
that's great.
And they come here for that. You know, they come here for the meatloaf and the mashed potatoes because that makes them feel like they're at home. You know, so that was a great reason. I have a background in defense. One of the companies that I loved and worked for many years was a defense company.
Oh, okay.
And so through that process, I clearly got to know the importance of what the military does for our country and the sacrifices that they have made and continue to make on behalf of all of us. You know, so that was a huge play. The other, of course, is, you know, we're near 2 hotels and a conference center. And the conference center is quite popular. You know, it's a lot of weddings and conferences, obviously.
Sure.
And during the summer, we also have a lot of fields here, so we attract a lot of tournaments. Anywhere from soccer to lacrosse to ultimate frisbee.
Oh, wow.
You know, and guess where they all stay? They stay at these hotels.
Sure.
And these are national, in many cases, not just regional, but national competitions.
Oh.
So we have lots of people that come from all around the country and stay in these hotels, and you know, this is where 99% of them come. And what we've been able to build over time, you know, certainly I won't take credit for all of it, but over time is, you know, for many of our traveling guests, this is one of the places they look forward to coming here. You know, so they travel from wherever, they check into their hotel, and you know, they really want to go to somewhere where it's Norm walking into Cheers. You know, and so we have lots and lots of guests that, you know, come here once a week or once every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
They travel here for what routine business, and then when they get in here, we know who they are.
Yeah.
We know what they like, and for them, it's like, okay, home away from home. You know, they know our bartenders, they know some of our servers, and so they don't feel lonely. They don't feel like they've been away from their families. They feel like, you know, this is a place where they can come, where they still know people know them.
Yeah,
and there's
I
a
love
level
that.
of comfort. So because of that, we have a lot of return loyal guests that are traveling guests. Now, when I was in my corporate world, I traveled a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Probably 3 or 4 days a week.
Wow. Okay.
And I know exactly how a traveler feels. I mean,
Yeah.
you've been traveling all day on a plane.
Sure.
You usually arrive late at night. By the time you get to your hotel, it's like 10 o'clock at night. And you really want either a quick bite to eat or you want a drink or something like that. And usually there's nothing around, or you go to an unfamiliar bar.
And it's often disappointing, right?
It's very disappointing.
Yeah.
But you go there, nobody knows you.
Right.
And it's quite the opposite here.
Sure.
So this is a place where people seek us out because they know they can walk in and they know they'll be recognized. There's a relationship that they've built with many of our team members. And that's a key ingredient for us. And so when I looked at all of those, this restaurant seemed like the right decision for us.
That's great.
There's a lot of future as well. Devens as an area is growing.
Right.
We have lots of businesses here that are growing. So just like buying a stock, you sort of buy it not for what it is today, but where it could be in the future.
Sure.
So we see a lot of potential from a business opportunity perspective in this restaurant, and to be able to grow it over time. So it's by no means hit a ceiling.
Yeah, for sure.
It's always going to have growing pains.
Mm-hmm.
We're going through it right now. We are investing to try to fix a lot of things that are broken.
Mm-hmm.
We're fixing our processes. We're becoming more disciplined. We're working on a clean culture. And those kinds of things, positioning ourselves to when the growth does happen, we are able to, quickly adapt to it.
Yeah, and you're super positive about it too. It sounds like it's been a great experience for you. So I'm really excited. I'm really excited for that. As far as closing words or things that you'd want others to know, like coming here. I mean, we've covered a lot, but is there anything else that you'd want to share in terms of the experience or the food, or what people should just know about coming in here? Or
thank you for that. Yeah, so for many of our guests, look, it is different here. I mean, and many of our guests, I read all the social media comments every day, and I reply to all of them. I think some of our guests look at the replies, some of them don't.
Mm-hmm.
There is no doubt we've had some hiccups. It's change, and we've learned from those. We've learned from a lot of the comments our guests make. But I want to apologize for a few things. We have culturally changed this restaurant and continue to change it to be more cleaner.
Mm-hmm.
We have a significant emphasis on food safety and general safety for our employees.
Mm-hmm.
We also are here to make money, meaning, this is a business.
Sure.
And so there's this significant focus on, how do we turn the restaurant around and make money? What I would ask all of our guests, whether you're guests that have been coming here always or new guests that are thinking of coming here, get a chance to meet myself or Rama,
mm-hmm.
speak with us, because one of the things you'll find about us is, we have no ulterior motives. We are quite transparent. We'll tell you whatever you want to know.
Sure.
But we bought this restaurant because we want to create right experiences for our guests. Okay, and as I said earlier, we also want to create opportunities for our team members.
Mm-hmm.
This was not a money-making proposition for us. We did it because it's a labor of love. It's something that we're passionate about. But we are different. I mean, we know enough to know that the restaurant has changed. We will never tell anyone that, come in here, it's the same as it used to be.
Right.
It isn't. It feels different. It is different. We are also looking at the changing demographic of our guests.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
So we know that we have to be more active on social media, and we are starting to do that.
That's good.
This interview that we're doing,
right.
We think is a good thing. We want people to hear from us in different platforms and understand what we're trying to do.
Right.
What I would say to all of our guests is, come here and understand what we're doing. From our food quality, which we are, always emphatically looking to improve, to our portions. We talked a little bit about this, Eric,
mm-hmm.
you and I offline, but we've optimized our portions. So that's not political speak. It's more, what I found when I was here for the first couple of months is, our portions were so large that people were not finishing them.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say at least half of the time we were throwing away the food. And the other half, I would say, people were taking it home, but I'm willing to guess that most of them did not eat it once they got home.
Sure, it seems like a good idea at the time.
Yeah. So what we've done is we've sort of optimized the portions, and what we say in our menu, and we really mean it, is, look, if you come in here and you're still hungry after you're done with your meal, tell your server, tell us, and we'll make it right. Because we don't want you to leave unsatisfied. But at the same time, I also don't want to waste.
All right, that's really important.
Yeah. And so the other thing that we're very proud of that we do want guests to know, and I think a lot of them are noticing it, is we deeply care about saving our planet. Now, we're not naive to think that our actions alone will save the planet. There's healthy debate about what's happening to the planet right now, but to us personally, it's very important that we are as eco-friendly as a restaurant as possible. So a few months ago now, we made a conscious decision to get rid of as much plastic in our restaurant. So we moved away from plastic straws to paper straws. It's had mixed reviews, and we knew it would.
Sure.
We've gotten rid of all of our plastic to-go containers, and we've gotten corrugated recyclable containers. And that also we expected to have mixed reviews, and we have. I want to tell our guests, none of these, by the way, have saved us any money, because traditionally these products are between 5 or 10 times more money. But we do it because we feel we owe it, we have an obligation to help in our small way to help save the planet, and really work on things that are eco-friendly. We're also now investigating, and a lot of people don't know this, but there's also eco-friendly ways to buy food. Many of you know, we already buy our produce from a local farm right down the street. We're now investigating some meats, so cattle, for example, can also be grown in an eco-friendly way.
Yeah, okay.
So we're looking at small farms in the Northeast that raise cattle.
That's tremendous.
And create less waste.
Sure.
And we're looking at those products. We've actually tried them out. They're not cheap.
Sure.
But it's also there's no growth hormones in them. They're 100% organic. And so there's a benefit to having clean food to eat as well that are not filled with preservatives and things like that. So what you will see as a big change, in the Devens Grill, beyond the things we've talked about earlier, is a significant focus on creating experiences. So many restaurants have great food. Several of them have great staff. What we want is an escape for you. So when you come here as a guest, we know that you are expecting great food, you're expecting great service. We want to really come through with our commitment to all of you, that we want to create great memories for you here.
Right.
It's something that you can walk out of here saying, I had the great food, I had the great service, but it was also special for me for these reasons. And many people, and that's what we're trying to strive for. We're not perfect. We will make mistakes as we learn this business. But we learn, so we learn from the feedback you provide us, whether they're positive feedback or not so positive feedback. We learn from both, and that makes us better, and so we welcome people to continue to provide feedback, either directly to Rama and I. We sort of live here, so we're here all the time. To social media, provide us feedback, and we learn from that. We read all of them, we reply to all of them, and I will continue to do that. So come try the new grill. If you've been coming, thank you for your business. We will continue to strive to give you the experience that you deserve, and that's what we look forward to doing for many years to come.
And my feedback is the burger's great, love the Sidewinder fries, highly recommended to come here. So appreciate your time, and this was really informative. I learned a lot, and I'm looking forward to coming back many times.
Perfect.
So thank you.
Thank you everyone.